Yes, sir, please. Yes, sir.
uh, and we need to find the size of the matrix. So if I run this command, so I get 4 cross 4. That means there are 4 number of rows and 4 number of columns in this matrix. So the first one is the number of rows and the second one is the number of columns. Uh, for this part, it will be 4 and 4. So if I enter 4 and 4, that should be sufficient. And if I change the size of A, like right now, I'm only giving one argument, 4. That means it will create a square matrix of 4 cross 4. If I give two arguments over here, then it will create a matrix of 4 rows and 3 columns. Still, it will be a matrix of ones only. But if now I run the size command, then I will get 4 and 3. 4 number of rows, 3 number of columns. Uh, Furthermore, if I just want the number of rows or number of columns, then I can just change this size command. Is this visible or shall I increase the size a little more? I don't know how to increase the size. need to check how to increase the size. Let me just check. Control and plus, but that is not working. Okay, the command window size does not increase like this. Sorry, this I cannot change. I think this works with Control plus. This does not work with Control plus. Fine, I will just run some of the codes over and then I will shift to the first part. Type just over here only. So if I give A as 4 comma 3, so this will create a matrix of a size row number of rows 4 and columns 3. Now if I just want the number of columns in this, then I can just simply run the size a comma 2 command. So size a comma 2 command will give me the number of columns in A, and if I run size comma a comma 1 command, so this will give me the number of rows in A. If I run this command over here, so yeah, you can see size a comma 2 gives me 3, that is the number of columns, and size a comma 1 gives me the number of rows. I don't know how to increase this size. Now let us go to the second question. So this is consider the following array generated in MATLAB. Please answer the following questions related to extracting a submatrix and simple array operations. If you guys have any questions, so you can interrupt in between and I can answer those.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Please.
So let us first create this matrix. Uh, 1, 1 comma 0, comma 1, comma 0, comma 1. So if I put 3 dots, then I can continue to next line uh, without running the code.
Sir, please present in full screen mode. Full screen mode, please.
What do you mean by full screen mode?
Sir, you can mute the participants. Only we can see your screen only. Like this, sir.
You can pin the my screen in Meet on also. I don't need to mute the participants, otherwise they can't ask questions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I will create this matrix then 3, comma 1, comma 4, 7 minus 2 minus 2 comma 4 comma 3 comma 0 0 comma 7 comma minus 1 0 comma minus 3. And so I got my A matrix. Now I need to run this sum command. So now what this command is trying to do is I am extracting. First, let us just extract the sections that they want us to sum. So this one is the first, like whenever the indexing in MATLAB is such that the first value before the column, before the comma is the row, the second one is the column. So the commands ask us to extract the all the rows from first row to the end row in increments of 2. So I will select the first row and I will select the I will select the last row because one, then it will not select the next two rows and then the last row. And out of all that, it wants us to select only the fifth column of this. So I should get elements 1 and minus 3, right? So if I run this command, so I'm getting one. Okay, so it uh, first, second, one. I am leaving the first one and I'm taking the second one. Okay, fine. So I'm getting 1 and 0. Now I just need to sum this. So either I can use answer, that will give me the sum, or I can simply run the entire thing. Right. So this should be 1. Now they want us to select the second and third row, like the next command is uh, so this will be the second and third row and second and third column. So if I go into A, so it will be second and third row and second and third column. So I should get 1 4 1 4. Now I need to calculate rank of this matrix. So I will just run the command rank answer. That should give me 1. So this answer should be 1.
Sir, can you explain the third question again?
Third question. Okay. Third third
Ah, yes,
question.
sir.
Fine. Okay. So let me first write yeah, this one. Right. So they want the question asks us to calculate the sum of first extract these elements from the matrix A. So if I so this is my matrix A, and they want us to extract uh, the these elements, like so one if I run just the first command. Okay, let me just first calculate the size of the matrix. So there are 4 number of rows. So my and now if I run this one colon 2 colon n, so my end value will be 4 because I have 4 number of columns, 4 number of rows in this matrix. Now what this will give me is that it will generate a vector starting from 1 in increments of 2 and that ends at 4. So if I take 1, then I add 2 to it, then that should give me 3, and then another 2 increment, then that should give me 5. But 5 is not present, but 5 is not the end element of this like of this matrix. So it will just give me 1 and 3. This is clear why I'm getting 1 and 3.
Ah, yes, sir. Okay, sir.
And now the second part is 5. So I just need the fifth column of this A matrix. So I need the first. So if I run that command, this one, so I need to select the first and third row and fifth column of a matrix. So that should give me first row and third row and fifth column, 1 and 0, right? So that is what I'm getting, 1 and 0. Now the next part is calculating the sum of this. So sum of, so I restored that value in answer. So now I can just run sum answer. I can get the value as 1. So that will be my answer for this part. Next question is report the value of A2 to 3 and 2 to 3.
Sir, 1 second, sir. At the same time, we can write directly same command. Na? Sum is
Yeah, you
equal
can
to
write the same command.
yeah, you can write the same command. Yeah,
Mm,
please show it.
It will also give the same answer.
It will also give the same answer. Yes. Okay, sir.
What I was doing is that I had the value
I was
was,
doing is that
can you
I had
please
the
mute
value
yourself?
of please. Yes, yes, sir. You are done correct because step by step you are explaining. Right. Okay.
The fourth one was clear, I think, to everyone. Next, we will go to the fifth question. We wish to extract the vector indicated by the blue box from the above matrix. Please complete the code given below. The expected result from your code is vector B, which will have the value this. So this is 3147. So we need to extract this part of this matrix. So that will be the second row and all the and first four columns of the matrix. So we have they have given us some part of the code. So I will just type that part, and we need to fill this part of the code after the comma. So that should be like we have selected the second row already. Now we need to select the four columns. So I will just type 1 to 4. This will give me this will give me a vector from 1 2 3 4. So I will be selecting. So that means what I'm entering over here is 1 2 1 2 3 4. That should give me 3147, and that's what I'm getting. So the answer here should be 1 2 4. Now the next is we wish to extract the submatrix indicated by the red box from the above matrix. Please fill in the blank for the code below. So this red part. So we need to extract. Okay, it's 141473. So second, third, fourth row and second and third column. And so they have already entered 2 comma 3 at the end. We just need to enter the first part. So that should also be 2 to end. So if I select the second row and I select till the end of the number of rows, so that should give me the blue part, the red part. 14147 minus 1. Right? So this should be 2 to end. Or else I can also write 2 to 4 because there are 4 number of rows in here. Both of them should give me same result. So the second problem is clear to everyone. Okay, fine. Let
Yes,
us go
sir.
to the third problem. So minimum vector, minimum value from a vector. For x in range this, we want the question asks us to calculate this function value. Fine. So I want to make this a little bit bigger, but it's not happening. Let's check the settings one again once more. But this should be okay. x is 0, 0.1. So this creates a vector starting with 0 in increments of 0.1 and ending at 4. So I get 41 elements in the vector. Just a semicolon over here. Yeah. Now we need to calculate the value of this function for each of these points of x. So I can just enter y is equal to now for since we okay, let me first write the command and then I will tell what that means. Fine. So what I have written over here is x to the power power 2. But notice that I have put a dot over here. So that means I'm trying to do a element wise operation on this. So if I don't do this, still this should work because it's a because we are doing a scalar these two commands. So this should work because I am just multiplying a vector with a scalar. So it's just simple scalar multiplication, and I am just adding 3.2 to every element of that calculated value. So this is clear what I've done over here. I'm doing element wise operation because x is a vector, so I cannot just directly use the command. It will give me an error. So I get y. I will just open y. Yeah, so I get a column vector of y's. And now the question asks us to calculate the minimum value of fx at all these points. So I just need to run a min command on y. So this will give me the minimum value over y. That should be the answer for this part. Next, please report the value of x at the minima. So where I am getting this minima, that I want to now check, right? So I type in the command window help min. This gives me the documentation for minimum. So here, if you see, if I enter, if in the output I enter two arguments, m and I. So m gives me the minimum value and I gives me the index of where that minimum happens in this x vector, right? So I can use the same command, minimum index min y. So this should give me the minimum value in y and at which index it is happening. So the minimum is 1.82 and it is happening at the 13th index. So I want to now since it is happening at 13th index, so you can see x and y both have same sizes, 1 cross 41, 1 cross 41. So I just need to get the value of x at the 13th index, right? So I can just type x13. This will give me the value of x at the 13th index where y is minimum. I can check that using, like, if I store x min answer. So this is my minimum where minimum of the function is happening, and calculate the value of fx. So that should be this is same as 1.82. Fine. So the answer for this part should be at 1.2.
So what is the difference between the 7th and 8th?
The seventh one asks us to report the minima of the entire function, like the minimum value of the function. And the eighth question asks us to report the value of x for that minimum value, right? So to see plot x comma y. right? So this is the plot of x comma y. Now my minimum happens somewhere around here, 1.82, right? So the seventh question asks us to report the value of minima. That should be 1.82 y value. And the eighth question asks us to report the value of x at that minima. So that should be the x value 1.2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got. Okay.
Now, how many questions are there? Okay, last part. So some more array operations. Create the following matrix and answer the questions thereafter. Okay, just create the matrix. Okay. So what is the result of B diag A comma 1? So diag A comma 1. So this diag A comma 1, diagonal A comma 1, 6, 0.36. Okay, yeah, so fine. What is
Yes, sir.
okay, yeah, so fine.
What is hello? Yes, sir. 0.631, 0.63000.
Yeah, so
Upper one,
if I
sir.
enter
Diagonal upper one.
diag
Yeah,
A,
so if I
that will give me
enter
the diagonal.
diag A, that will give me
If
the
I enter
diagonal. Yes.
diag A comma
If I enter
minus
diag
1, that will give
A
me
comma
the lower diagonal.
that will give me the lower diagonal. Yeah.
If I enter diag 1, that will give me the
If I enter
upper
diag
diagonal,
1,
and
that will give me the upper
2
diagonal.
comma 2
And
should give me the this element. If I enter something that is greater than that, so it will give me an empty
if I
array.
enter something that is greater than that, so it will give me an empty array. Sir, in question 2 box is there. So
Yeah, we
you
need to
want to
enter
enter
the
the
two
two values,
values.
right?
So
Yeah, we need to enter the two values. Okay.
that
So
should be
that should be
0.63 and 3.64.
0.3. Yes. 3 point and
Now
3.61.
we need to calculate the floor of B. So
Now we need to
if we go
calculate the
into the
floor of B.
documentation of floor,
So
it
we go
gives us
into the
the
documentation of
lower
floor. It gives us the lower.
it gives us the lower value of the rounds of it to the lower value, lowest value. Like suppose for this 0.63, okay, might be. Let me first show what B is. Fine. So this is my B. Now if I run a floor operation on this, then this should go to 0. Like floor will give me the lowest integer, nearest lowest integer with the given number. So for this it should be 0. For this it should be 3 because the lowest nearest integer to this is 3, right? So if I run floor, gives me 0 and 3. Similarly, if I run ceil on this, that should give me the nearest maximum integer. Sorry. So it should give me 1 and 4 because the nearest number integer greater than this is 1 and the nearest integer greater than this is 4. So in this, they ask us to do a floor operation. That should be 0 and 3. Next is the result of B is equal to diag B, right? So capital B is equal to diag B. So now B is a 2 cross 1 vector. So diag command will create a 2 cross 2 matrix with diagonal elements as the elements of B and zeros are in the other sides, right? So my B was 0.63 and 3.64. So the diag B will give me 0.63, 3.64 and zeros in other places. So I need to enter 4 elements over here. The first one should be 0.36, 0, 0, 3.64. Okay. Now let us create another matrix as A1212. This gives this. Now let us compare matrix operation versus element by element array operations in the next two questions. Okay, let us first create this matrix. Fine. So the first part is we just need to do matrix multiplication. So this is normal matrix multiplication. 1.61 times 1.61 and 0.63 times 4.5, like this. That should give me the first element, and likewise. Okay. You may report results rounded or chopped off to two digits after the decimal. Report the value of B2. Okay. The next they asked us to do a element by element wise operation. So that should So now what will happen is that each element of A2 will be multiplied by itself. So this command should give me a square of 1.61, square of 0.63, square of 4.45, and square of 0.71. Yeah. So if I do a 1.6, what is the value? 1.61 to 1.61, 2.592. That is what I'm getting over here. Right? So this is the difference between normal matrix multiplication and element-wise matrix multiplication. So we just need to enter those four values over here. I will just enter the values: 5.39, 0.46, 10.32, 3.30. For this, it should be 2.59, 0.39, 19.80, 50. Fine. Let us just check and submit. Okay. So all the answers are correct. All the answers are correct. So this assignment, is it clear to everyone, or does anyone has any problem or any questions? Okay, then let me just go to the problems that I have. Yeah.
Sir, I have one doubt. Sir,
Yeah.
in examinations, we are using now MATLAB. In examination, how we want to complete?
They will give you MATLAB for that also.
They will give you MATLAB for that also.
Okay.
Close this. Fine. So the question is visible to everyone. So the first one is sum of series. So we have two equations, and we want to calculate the sum of these two terms, these two sum of these two equations. Fine. So I think I have it somewhere of it. I will just create a. So the first one is summation of 2k minus 1 whole square and for k from 1 to n. So how shall we do this? First, I will try to do it using a for loop, and actually I can only do it using a for loop. Let me just write it then. So n is equal to, I will just take 10. First, let us do it for 10 values of k, and then we'll see for other values. So I need to start the for loop for I is equal to 1 to n. I need to create a sum variable. So for every iteration, I will calculate this and I will store it in sum added to the previous sum value. Okay. So just let me do the calculation. So value is equal to uh, let me name this k, it will be simpler. So the first term would be 2 times k minus 1 whole square. Okay. So for k is equal to 1, this should give me 1. Okay. And whatever the value is, I will be storing it in sum. So this command will recursively store, like I have initialized sum with 0. I will calculate the value and I will add it to sum. And then I will run the loop again. The loop will run again. And then for k is equal to 2, this will calculate the value and add it to the previous value of sum. Fine. So this is clear to everyone what I have done, or does anyone has any doubt?
Does anyone has any doubt?
Sir, at the same time, we want to values also, all values.
Okay, you want to see the values of val also? Just
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay. So I will store it somewhere, like you can make val a vector, and then here I will just add the current value of val or the end value or current value of val. Fine. So this will and I will start val. I will initialize val with the number of size, the size of n. Okay. So I know that n is equal to 10. So there should be 10 values in val. So this will initialize the val to zeros. Then I will run the loop 10 times, and for each time I will calculate a new value of val, store it in the vector. Then I will add the current value, like the value that I just calculated, in sum. Fine. So I will just run this. Okay, just let me copy it over here. I will just run this first section, and we will see the values. Sorry. Simpler to show it over here. So I can see val 1, 9, 25, 49, 81, 21, 169, 225. So what this 2k minus 1 is basically, it's all the odd numbers starting from 1. So 1, 3, 5 like this, and we are squaring them. So this is square of 1, square of 3, square of 5, square of 7, square of 9, like that. We are adding the first 10 squares of odd numbers. So my value of sum is 1330, right? I can increase it to
Okay, sir.
whatever value I want.
and increase it
Let me just
to
give me that. So for the sum of first square of first 100 odd numbers, that should be 133300. Okay, so this is one of the method using a for loop. The other method is I can just, what I can do is, if created val from a zero, I can create x as 1 to 1 to n. This will give me, let me just make this 10. So this will create a vector of vector from 1 to 10. Then I will calculate the sum of 2k minus 1 whole square. I will evaluate this function. So what I need to do is 2 times x minus 1. So I am just doing element wise operation on each of the value of x, right? And then I just need to sum y. This should also give me same answer what I'm getting earlier. I was getting earlier. Okay. So first, let me just run this command for 10 values. We will then check the results. Let me make this sum 1, otherwise it will overwrite. It will not overwrite. Just remove this. Sorry. So it is this sum. Both of them are conflicting each other. So let me make this sum 1. Sum 1. Now let me run this sum 2. Because they're in variable space. So fine. Now this part. Okay. So sum 1 is using the loop. Sum 2 is using just matrix of vector operations or matrix operations. So my sum 1 is 1330. So calculate sum 2. Both of them are same. Similarly,
Excuse
any question?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, please explain once again this one.
Loop.
Sir, this loop.
loop.
Yeah, loop program. This one. This one. What you wrote now, right now. Yes.
You are asked
It's the same page, same screen.
You are asked.
this part you are asking about.
This part you are asking about.
Same
Okay.
screen, sir. The earlier one. Yeah. Please, here only explain, sir. Here only.
Yeah. So what
First and
this is
second
doing
also.
is
Yeah.
I am initializing n to 10.
Yeah,
Like I am taking 10 values. Then I am initializing a variable sum1, and I'm initializing it to 0. Then like since this is a loop, so
this is a loop. So
Yes, sir.
this is a loop. So can you please
this is
mute
a
yourself?
loop. So can you please mute yourself?
So this is
So this is
so I'm initializing val to zeros n comma 1 because
initializing val to zeros n comma 1 because
Sri Kanta, can you please mute yourself?
Shrikanta, can you please mute yourself?
The
Yeah,
noise,
one
it's
second, sir.
echoing. Yeah. So n is equal to 10. I'm initializing sum to 0. Then I'm initializing val because whatever value I'm storing, I'm initializing the vector 10 comma 1. Why I'm doing this is because in run, if the size of val changes during the runtime, then it's not memory efficient. The program becomes a little bit slow. It's not an issue for this small value of n, but if for larger programs, that's an issue. So that is why I'm initializing the val to 10 comma 1. Then what I'm doing, I'm running the loop 10 times, and for each iteration of loop, I am calculating the value of 2k minus 1 whole square. So k will be for the first loop, k will be 1. For the second loop, k will be 2. For the third loop, k will be 3. So I will be, for the first loop, I'm getting 1 square. For the second loop, I'm getting 3 square. And for the third loop, I'm getting 5 square, like that. And I'm storing each of those values in val in that index. Like for the first index, I'm getting 1 square. For the second index, I'm getting 3 square. For the third index, I'm getting 5 square, like that. And I am adding, like, each time I'm getting a val value, and I'm adding that val value to the sum value, and I am storing it again in the sum. So what this line of code is doing, I'm initializing sum to 0. Okay, if I show it using breakpoint, then I think it will be better. We'll add a break. This you will learn later in the later part of the code, but just to explain, I'm doing this. So the code stops here. Right now my val is a 0 vector of 10 cross 1, and my sum 1 is also 0. If I go to the next line, so now it has calculated a value of val, and it has updated it over here. So now my first value of val has become 1 square. I will run it again, then, and it adds that one value to sum. Okay, so this one is added because I'm just taking the first element, like the kth element, that is the first element of val, adding that to 1, right? Now I will go to the next line. So the loop will again iterate, and now k has become 2. So if you see over here, now k has become 2. Okay, it's visible over here. Now I will run it again. Now it calculates for k is equal to 2 the value of val, and stores it in the second position. And now to the next line. So now it takes the sum, takes the previous value of sum and adds the current value of val to that sum and stores it in sum only. So I add 9 to 1 and I get 10. I'm storing it over here. So similarly, this loop runs 10 number of times because k varies from 1 to 10. So that is what is happening over here. We'll remove this breakpoint. I will continue to 10 times. Yeah, so every time you see the value of val is changing. Fine. So is this clear now? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What I did in this part is similar thing without using a for loop. So I created a vector of x. I will run it over here. So I created a vector of x. It has values like, okay, sorry, n has changed. And let me minus 10. And then, so my x is a vector from 1 to 10. Then for each value of this x, I calculate my y over here. These are here I am doing element wise operation. So I am taking every element of x, multiplying it by 2, subtracting 1, and then for that element I am taking the power of that, square of that. So now everything is all of this val values that we were looking previously, all of these val values, they are stored in y. I check y. So 1, 9, 25, 49, 81, and it will be similar to what I am getting in val. Something happened on this section. Yeah. So this val and y values, both of them are same. 19, 25, 49, 81, 19, 25, 49, 81. Yeah. And I'm just summing the elements of y. So I'm getting 1330. If I sum the elements of val, I'm getting the same thing, 1330. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now let us take a look at the second part. So the expression is different from the first one. So I have a value of m. So I am taking k from 1 to n, and m for m I have three values, 1, 5, and 10. So let me first take 10 elements. Let me first just take the value of m as 1, and then later we will plot it for 5. Uh, First I will try to do it using a for loop, and then we will check if some other method is possible or not. I will run the loop 10 times. I will start to store the values, then I need to initialize val. Let me just not do this at this time. I will change the value of val during runtime only. So, okay, I need to do k, that will be k multiplied by m. M is 1 to the power.
Bro, repeat
What
it,
part?
please.
Which part?
This one, the previous one.
Okay, yeah. So I'm trying to evaluate this the second series. So uh,
Yeah.
like k varies from 1 to n. So right now I'm taking n as 10. So I will be evaluating it for 10 elements. I will evaluate the series for 10 elements, and I will try to add
Okay.
them. And we have three values of m, 1, 5, and 10. So for now I am just doing it for m is equal to 1. Okay. I am initializing some variable, and I'm initializing it to 0. Then since I have 10 elements in the series, like I'm doing it for 10 elements, so I'm running the for loop for 10 iterations. So for k is varying from 1 to n. N is 10. Now I'm evaluating this expression for every element, for every value of k. Okay. So what I'm doing over,
Got it.
so k multiplied by m,
Got it.
and m to the power k. Okay. M to the power k. Vector is to be safe side. Then I need to divide it by k plus m factorial. So there is a factorial function inbuilt into the MATLAB. If you want to use it, okay, let me just show that also. So factorial of 3, I'm getting 6. The other way to do it is using the prod function. So I can just do prod of 1, 2, 3. It will also give me 6. So 1, 2, 3, this will create a vector from 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm just taking product of every element, like 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. So here I'm taking the factorial function, else I can do that also. I can do prod 1 to k plus n. Fine. And I will be doing what I did previously. We will be adding it to sum. We'll be ending the loop. Right. So right now I'm getting a warning because I have not initialized val. It's changing its size for every iteration of the loop. So we'll just initialize val. Now I will run this code. This should give me someone as 1, and okay. So I can see for like as k increases, the later term k plus m factorial becomes much more dominant. So I am getting These are not exactly 0, but very small values. You can see 0.5, 0.33, 1.25, 0.33. Afterwards, it's very small values. So if I just take a sum, I get a value that is close to 1. Okay. If I do it for 100 terms, even for 100 terms, I will be getting the same value because later values, they just become close to 0. Here also my sum one would be close to 1. Okay. The more I increase m, okay, let us do this for different values of m. So I will create a,
Sir, excuse me, sir. In question, it is mentioned that m is equal to 1 and comma 5, comma 10. Means we want to
yeah,
calculate a
so
particular separate
what we want to
program
do
for
is we
5
want
and
to
10.
first evaluate this for m is equal to 1, then evaluate it for m is equal to 5, then m is equal to 10. Okay, so right now I have evaluated it for m is equal to 1. I will try to create a nested for loop so that I can evaluate for all the three values at the same time. Okay, so first let me create the m vector. So I have created the m vector. I am taking 10 elements and let me create a val. So I have 10 elements and I have three m values. So I will create a val vector, a val matrix of n comma n cross 3. So this will create a 10 cross 3 val vector, val matrix. So for the first column, I will be using for m is equal to 1 the first column, m is equal to 2 the second column, and m is equal to 3 the third column. I will also make this sum 0, 1 comma 3. So for each value of for each value of m, I am using a different sum. So if I run these two commands only, sorry. So my sum is 1 cross 3 0 vector and my val is 10 cross 3 0 vector, 0 matrix. Sorry. Now I need to make a nested loop. So I will run this loop. Let me just complete the code and then I will explain what I'm doing. Okay, so it runs. So what I have done until this, everything is clear up until this part, the first 5 lines. Is this clear to everyone? Okay, okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Now I will explain the for loop. So what I'm trying to do for this part of the loop, this is similar to what we did previously. For
Sir,
yeah,
one more question, sir, please. Sir, here the value is m value is
yes.
1, 5, and 10, right? What about k is
What
only
about
1, right? The value of k is
yeah, 1
1,
to n. So
1 to n.
this loop changes the value of k from 1 to n. So n I have taken 10. So it will change the value of k from 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. right?
Okay, okay, sir.
So
Okay, sir.
this loop will do what we were doing previously. It will calculate the value of the expression km to the power k divided by km k plus m factorial, and it will store it in val k comma I. So what this I is, I have three values of m. So I will have three values of three separate columns for each m. So the first column of val is for m is equal to 1. The second column of val is for m is equal to 5, and the third column for m is equal to 10. I check val. So I'm getting three columns, right? First one is, this column is similar to what we had what we got previously for m is equal to 1. The second column is for m is equal to 5. Notice we are getting much smaller values than compared to 1, because this factorial part is much more dominant in this term than the numerator part. The denominator is much more dominant. So for m is equal to 5, this denominator increases very rapidly. So we are getting very small values, and for m is equal to 10, even smaller values, right? So if I use breakpoint and run this code, it will be much easier for you to understand. So let me just put a breakpoint over here. I will run this code. Right? I will store the val over here. Okay. So right now my I value is 1 and my k value is, this is from the previous loop. My k value is 1. My val is still a 10 cross 3 0 matrix. Now I'm evaluating this for k is equal to 1 and I is equal to 1. So that means for val 1 comma 1. Here k is 1. Here k is 1. I is also 1.
I is
So
also one.
I'm
Yeah.
taking mi. So that will be 1. Okay. I'm again k. So this is simple. It is similar to what we had done previously. Yeah. So it changes the first value. Okay. Now if I also show sum to you. So this is my sum variable and that is my val variable. I run it again. Now my first sum value has changed. Okay. Now it will not go to the outer loop. Like it will not change the value of I until unless I have completed the inner loop completely. So until unless the inner loop has ran for 10 times, it will not change the value of I from 1 to 2. Okay. Yeah. So now it runs for the second, k is equal to 2. So my second val value has changed. I will run it again and my sum has changed. Fine. So let me do continue. Yeah. So now my first, all that for k is from 1 to 10, this has all has calculated everything. Now my I value has changed to 2. So now I'm using m is equal to 2, that is 5. Right. So now it changes the second element of the first row, and sum has also changed. Similarly, I ran it for 10 times, so my val second column has changed. Now I need to run it for the third one. Okay. So you see, now the third column is changing. Fine. Now if I check the value of sum, yeah. Okay, let me take format short sum. Yeah. So for m is equal to 1, it's 1. For m is equal to 5, 0.416, and for m is equal to 10, it's close to 0, not exactly 0. Furthermore, I can plot this. So if I run plot, uh, this one is for m is equal to 1 with different with different k values, how the value of this expression changes. On the same plot, if I use hold on command, so it will plot the next plot on the same figure. Okay, so plot, I will the second column of where, and I will plot this using green color. Yeah. So this is very small compared to m is equal to 1. Now for the third one, plot it using blue. This is even smaller. It's approximately close to 0. Okay. So is this clear to everyone what I just did?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Fine. Let us now go to the second question, second problem. Yeah. So matrix generation. So we want to generate these two matrices. Like for n is equal to 2, if I get n is equal to 2, then my output should be from minus 2 times n to 0, and you can get the idea. It should start from minus 2n, and then it should go to 0, and then in the next row it should go from minus 2n plus 1 to the 2n plus 1 number of elements. Okay, let me just use my tablet to show this. How do I show this? Uh, Fine. So what is happening for n is equal to 2? It should get something that starts from minus 2n, and then next element should be uh, minus 2n plus 1, and similarly it should go to minus 2n plus 2n plus 1, minus 2n. Fine. The next one should be minus 2n plus 1, and it should go to minus 2n plus 2n plus 1. So that will give me 1. Likewise, I need to repeat this. Okay, this is clear. So we will just need to code something similar to this. Fine. Fine. So I already have a code for this. We'll just copy this first. Okay, this is the later part. Let us do the simpler one first. Fine. So we will run a nested loop. The first loop runs from I is equal to like if n is equal to 2, then I can see I am getting a 5 cross 5 matrix. That means 2n plus 1 comma 2n plus 1. So I will just initialize my matrix. Then I need to run the loop for 5 times for this row, and then 5 times for each 5 times for each column, and then 5 times for each row. So this is what I'm doing over here. For the first row I'm running it for the 5 times, and for the for the first column, or for the columns, I'm again running it 5 times. So the each value, my each value of this is like what this gives me: I plus j minus 2n plus 2 minus 2. Okay, if I just run this, so I get the same element, same vector, and same matrix that I want over here. uh, this is using nested loops. Okay, so you just need to find a pattern of what each element is like. The first element, this is I'm trying to do 1 comma 1, and then I need to subtract like 1 plus 1, that will be 2. Then I need to subtract 6 from that. Okay, so how do I get that? Then for the next one, that it will be 3 minus 6, 3 minus 6. For the next one, it will be 4 minus 6. So that is what is happening over here. Okay, so I plus j, it will increase the value, and 2n minus 1 will remain constant. It is like I plus j minus 2 times n plus 1, right? So for the first loop, it will be 1 plus 1, 2 minus 2 plus 1, 6. To 2 minus 6, that will be minus 4. For the next one, it will be 1 plus 2, 3 minus 6. So this term will remain constant. We are just changing this value, these values. Okay. If I run this using breakpoints, then we will understand it better. So the question is clear to everyone, right? What we are trying to do. Hello.
Sir, I have doubt regarding the writing this equation.
Yeah. So you just need to find a pattern that what is happening in this matrix. What is happening in the first matrix or even in the second matrix is I am subtracting a constant term from every element. So let me. What is happening is I will just run this. Fine. So right now my I is 1 and my j is also 1. So if I evaluate this expression, so it should be 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, 2 minus 2 times n plus 1. So n is 5. N is 2, sorry, n is 2. So n plus 1, 3 times 2, 6. So this term, it's always constant. It will be 6 every time. Only these two terms will be changing. So if I see this minus 4, so 2 minus 6 minus 4. For the second term, 3 minus 6. so minus 3. For the third term, 4 minus 6, I will get in minus 2. For the fifth term, 5 minus 6 minus 1. For the fourth term, for the fifth term, 6 minus 6, I will get 0. Likewise, I will go to the next row, and then next row, then next row. So that's how I have calculated this expression.
Yes, sir.
Show mat2 to you guys. So right now it's 5 cross 5, 0 matrix. Step it. Next one, I am getting minus 4. So my I is 1, my j is also 1. Now for the next element, my I is 1, my j is 2. That means this second this element. I will be evaluating this expression. I will be getting minus 3. Then again, the value of I remains 1 only, the value of j changes to 3. So for this element, now I'm evaluating it, minus 2. Okay. Now I go to the second row. I have evaluated the first row completely. Now I go to the second row. So my I has become 2, my j has become 1. So that means for this element, minus 3.
Minus 3. How we are
How we were getting minus 3 over
Yes, sir.
here
Yes.
was that uh, minus 3 minus 6. That's how we were getting minus 2. So we had I for this element, we had I is equal to 1 and j is equal to minus 2. J is equal to 2. But now for this element, I has become 2 and j has become 1. So we will be getting the same element what we were getting over here. We will be getting the same element over here. Fine. Now for this element, both of them has become 2. So this value will be similar to what we were getting over here, because I plus j were 4 over here and I plus j are 4 over here also. Minus 2. This will be similar to this. So because this I plus j, as we go to the next row, this term remains constant, only this term changes. That is what is happening over here. Fine. Now this method is using for loops.
this method is using
There
for
is another
Yes, sir.
method using a single for loop, which is this one. Let me show this method. Similar to previous case, I have initiated a matrix, 5 cross 5 matrix using zeros. Now I know that for this matrix, the range of values in this matrix is from minus 2n to 2n. So the range of values are from minus 4 to 4. And I am changing these values in increments of plus 1. So minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0. For the next row, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, like this. So I have just created a vector of values from minus 2n to 2n in increments of 1. So this val, I just run this part of code. So my val is minus 4 to 4 in increments of 1. Now for the first row, I just need the values of val from the first element to the fifth element, that is 2n plus 1, 1th element. Okay, so that is what I am doing over here. For the next row, I will be needing values of val from the second element to 7th element. Fine. Second to 6th element, sorry. So that is what is happening over here. Val from I to I plus 2n. So this 2n will remain constant at 4. For the first one, I will be just breakpoint and run this part. So if my mat one is 0, 0, 5, 0, a 0 matrix of 5, 5. For the first one, mm, this changes only all the rows of the first column. I'm getting similar thing because it's a symmetric matrix. Let's Let me just run this. So I am changing all the rows. I am changing all the rows of the selecting all the rows of the first column, and I am adding the values from this -4 to 0. So this I is 1 and it goes to 1 plus 4, that is 5. What is happening? Just a minute. This will select the first row, all the columns. Should work. Yeah. So I am selecting the first row and all the columns, and I am adding the elements from -4, that is the first value of val, to fifth values in this. Now I'm again going to the next iteration. Now I have selected the second row and all the columns. Now I am adding the value from 2 to 1, that is from second to sixth. So this, like, I is equal to 2. So 2n plus 2, that will become 6. 2 and 4 plus 2, that will become 6. Okay. So I'm getting -3 to 1. So is this clear to everyone? Any doubts? Fine. Similarly, for n is equal to 5, I can get a similar matrix, like the matrix that I got over here. It's that one. So this is similar matrix that I got over here. Okay. There is no doubt in this part. Anyone? Okay. Then third question. So we need write a function or write a code that takes n as input and outputs a matrix whose upper left n cross n quadrant contains all ones, lower right n cross n quadrant contain all n's, and zeros everywhere else. For example, n is equal to 3, so I should get a matrix that is 6 cross 6 in size, and the first 3 comma 3 initial 3 comma 3 matrix submatrix should have all ones. The later last 3 comma 3 submatrix should all have threes. The rest of them should have 0. Okay. Like if I take n is equal to 5, then I should get a 10 cross 10 matrix. The first 5 cross 5 submatrix should have ones, and the last 5 cross 5 submatrix should have 5, and the rest all zeros. So how do we do this? Okay, this is actually very simple. So let us just do it for n is equal to 3. We know that we need to create a matrix that is 2n cross 2n in size. So I will just create matrix of zeros. 2n comma 2n. Now we already have this matrix of zeros, so we don't need to change these two sections of this matrix, right? So this is already 0, this is already 0. We just need to change this subpart and the last subpart. So this is similar to the exercise that we did in the mock assignment. First, we need to select the first 3 cross 3 submatrix from this matrix. So that we will, and we need to change that to all ones. Okay. So I will first select that. So 1 to n comma 1 to n. This will give me the first 3 cross 3 matrix from matrix from the matrix mat, and then I need to change that to 1. So I will create a ones with n comma n, and I will enter those in those regions. Fine. So if I run this part now, so my first quadrant has changed to all the ones, right? Now I don't need to interfere with the second and the third quadrant. I will just directly go to the fourth quadrant. This quadrant begins from like 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will be beginning from n plus 1 to the last row and n plus 1 column to the last column. Okay. And I will change this with ones n comma n, and we will multiply it with n. So this will just give me a matrix of all threes, a 3 cross 3 matrix of all threes, and this uh, uh, this will give me the last 3 comma 3 part of this matrix. Fine. So if I run this part, now I will check mat. So the first part has become all ones, this part has become all threes. If I change the value of n to 5, run this entire code, it has become very large. Yeah. So the first 5 cross 5 has become 1. The last 5 cross 5 has become 5. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is a big question. Just to increase the size that you guys can read. So that took somewhere. Yeah. So we have a cell. We have a cell data type. You guys are familiar with all the data types in MATLAB. It was taught in the first week of all lectures, right? So there was also cell data type in it. So we have marks of all the students. The first column is homework. The second is quiz marks, and this is I think it was no. Let me just check. I forgot where the question was. Somewhere over here only. Uh, but anyways, mm, So I have this list of student marks. So I can read it over here. So we have homework in the first column, assignments in the second column, this one, and we have that's something I don't know, I don't remember. So we had quizzes, we had assignments, and we had homeworks. Yeah, homeworks. So this one for homework, this one for quizzes, and this one was for the assignments. Fine. So what we need to do is we need to calculate the average marks for each of the student. How we are weighting them is that the first assignments, homeworks, they are weighted as 20%. The quizzes are weighted at 45%, and the assignments are weighted at 35%. So what we need to do, the final grade for each student is calculated using average of their Royce scores weighted by how much each assignment type is worth. An example rubric would include something like 20, so 20, 45, and 35% weightage. Write a code that takes the Rubik vector as input and outputs the final grade for each student. So we need to calculate the average marks for each student, which is weighted by these factors. Fine. So how should we do this? We know that we have 6 students, right? So let us, if I just run this part, I will just run this part. I will get marks. Fine. So it's a 6x4 array, 6x4 cell. I know that each row, belongs to one student. So I can calculate how many number of students are there using just size command. So I will set size marks comma 1. I will get 6. So for calculating scores for every student, I need to run this loop 6 times. Fine. Now I need to take mean of the first mean of the homeworks, and I need to weight it by 20% or by 0.2. I need to take mean of the quizzes and I need to weight them by 45 by 0.45 or 45%. Similarly for the last assignments. Okay. So I will just I will create a vector for each student. Average marks, that will be zeros of size marks 1, and so this will give me a column vector. I will access the second element of second cell of marks. So for first student, first I will take the mean of these numbers. That will be marks I. So I will access the first one. So there are 3 sections. So I need to run one more loop that will run 3 times. So I will get first, for first student, I will get this the marks for the home assignments. I will multiply it by the weighting factor, that is R comma J. Then I will do it for the second one. I'm, I'm, I'm doing it like this, then I don't need the second loop. Let's take the first, let's take the second one. Where I will take the first one, take the third one. I will multiply this by the second one, the mean, multiply it by it with R3. That's it. So this is clear what I have done over here. This line of code. Anyone has any doubt in this? Okay.
Sir, here you are calculated three sets is there, na? You are done for three vectors, one comma one comma.
Yeah, for a
Particular student,
particular student.
like the mass.
Yeah, for a particular
So
Yeah.
okay, let me show it over here. So marks for the first student, I am accessing the marks for the quiz. So that will be 1 comma 2. Fine. Not quizzes for this first one. The homework marks. So that will be 1 comma 2. Right. So I will get this. Similarly, if I want the marks for the quizzes, then 1 comma 3. 98,086. And now I need to calculate mean of this, and I need to weight them by the factor that is given to us. So the first homework assignment homework means I'm multiplying it by 0.2. Then I'm calculating the mean of the quizzes, and I'm multiplying it by 45 or by 0.45. Then I'm calculating mean of the last one, assignment marks, and I'm multiplying it by 0.35. So this, and I'm storing it in the average marks, the first value of the first element of average marks. If I run this code, this will give me the average marks for all the students. Okay, so the first one got 73, 60, 61, 39, 43, 66. I convert it to a table. I can use the cell to table command. So I can convert it to a table. Now you can see it clearly. Marks for the assignment, home assignment, marks for the quizzes, marks for the assignments. Fine. So this is clear to everyone. Let us go to the last problem. Fine. Perfect square. So given a vector of numbers, return true if one of the number is a square of one of the numbers, otherwise return false. So suppose if I input 2, 3, 4, then 4 is a square of 2, then the output should be true or 1. If I and don't enter any number that is a square of any other number, suppose I enter it like 6, then none of the numbers are square of none of the other numbers. So it should return false. Fine. If I enter 2, 3, 3, then also it should be return false. If I enter 2, 6, 2, 3, 9, then it should return true because 9 is square of 3. So how do we do this? Using a for loop. So this part will also use if-else statement, which you guys will see in second week, I think. But it's simple only, so I will explain it as we go along. Okay, I will share this sheet with you guys and this presentation in the chat also, so you can try it for yourself. First, I will do that, then I will explain this part. There is chat. 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 Okay. Can share the files over here or not? I don't know. Can we share files in Google Meet? Does anyone know that can we share files in Google Meet? And let me just try it, and then does not work, then I will do something else. I think I cannot share files. We'll upload it to Drive and share the link over here. Can anyone please check if they can access the files? Let me know if you have any problem with them. Fine. So I will just make a sample array 2, 3, 6, 9. Let me create them in random order. Okay. So we have 2 and we have 4. So 2 is a square of 4 is a square of 2. So we should get a true value or 1. I am using 0 and 1. So if this is if something if some number exists in this vector, which is a square of any other number, then exist will change to 1. Otherwise, it will remain 0. So how we should start it is that first we will sort the vector into increasing order, ascending order. Why we are doing it? Because then we just need to check all the elements that is after the given element. Okay, right now suppose if I check 5, so I need if I check 2, then I need to check all the elements before and after 2 to see if it's a square of some other number. Fine. But if I sort it in an ascending order, then I just need to check the number after that number. Okay, if I run this code only, so my value is 562584. Now if I want to check if suppose I want to check, okay, let me just shift 4 and 2, 9, 3. Right? Now suppose if I want to check if 4 is a square, if 9 is a square of any other number, so I need to check every other element. If I want to check if 3 has a square in this vector, so I need to check every other element from first element to last element except 3. But if we sort it, then for 3 we know that the vector is already in ascending order, so the square of 3 will be any number that is after this number, not before this number, right? So we just need to check all the elements that is after the given number. That is why we are first sorting the vector before checking if something exists inside, the square exists or not. Fine. So I will run a loop for the number of elements in val, that is for this case will be 6. So this loop will run 6 times. Now I will let me write this code and then it will be better to explain. Fine. I will just check if the ith value of val sort square of that equals any element that is after this value. So if equals any element in val sort that is after this, so I need to check I plus 1 until the end of val sort, right? So this double equal to, this is an equality operator, so it will give me a 1 or logical true if this condition is true, otherwise it will give me 0. Fine. Let me first just run this part. Okay. So I will take value of I as 1. Fine. So this is my X or my logical, it's a logical array. So 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. This is my val sort, a sorted array, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, and this is my logical array. So the size of logical array is one element less than the element that I'm checking, right? So I can see that 3 is not a square of 2, so it gives me 0. I can see that 4 is a square of 2, so it gives me 1. This is not a square, it gives me 0. This is not a square, it gives me 0. This is not a square, this gives me 0. Right? Now I want to check, so I can get even 2 zeros or even not even 1 0, right? So I just need to check the max of this. What this will do is that it will let me know that, okay, the maximum of this is 1. So there is at least one element in in this val sort that is a square of some other element in the same vector, right? That is what I'm doing over here. I will just do if x equals 1, then I will change the value of exist to 1. I will exit the loop. Fine. So this loop will run 6 number of times. For every iteration, it will check the value of, it will evaluate this expression. Then it will give me the max of that. And then if the max exists, like if x is equal to 1, then it will change the value of exist to 1, otherwise 0, right? So if I run this, I'll show you guys x every time. Okay, let me, okay, fine. So this is my x. Now I am taking also max of it. So I will get 1. This is also a logical one. So if you can see the type of y, uh, it's a logical type of variable, right? So now if y is equal to 1, then exist is equal to 1, and we will exit this condition and the loop. Now it will check for the second element of var. So this will now become 4 cross 1, because we are checking after this element. So we are only checking for 4 elements, right? So for the second element also, it entered the loop because we have 9, which is a square of 3. Now if we run the loop again, now you see we don't have any 1. We all have all are zeros because we are checking for 4. So 6, 8, 9, none of these values are square of 4, or none of these values are square of 4. So we are getting zeros. So it will, if you see now, we are right now over here. If I click step, so it will not enter the if statement. It will just directly bypass the condition, bypass the if condition. Now for this 8th element, I am getting only 2 values, because in 6th element I am getting only 2 values, 8 and 9. Right now for the last element I am only getting for 1 value. Okay, so the loop exists. I just need to check the value of exist after the loop, and it will print it out. Exist 1. Fine. Now if suppose there is nothing that is a square, so if I remove 9 and also I remove 4, now none of the element are square of any other element. So I now run the exist equals 0. Fine. So any doubt in this to anyone? Fine, then these were all the questions that I wanted to discuss with you guys, and I have shared the code with you guys. So I've shared this code. It has solution for problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, problem 4, and problem 5 also. You guys can go through them. Okay, fine. So if now anyone, no one has any doubt, then we can end the discussion.
Are we going to get the recorded video of this one?
I don't know. You need to ask the NPTEL team about that. They have asked us to upload the videos, but I don't know if they will be sharing it with you guys or not.
Thank you.
Fine then. See you all guys next Monday.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.